Round one, we have the choice. Playing first. And yeah, I mean, we'll keep. We got a Leaf Gilder. We've got potential turn 3 Automaton, which is actually, you know, turn 3, 3/3 that gains 3 life when it dies is not that bad. And having the ramp is nice. We don't have the blue mana yet, but if we can draw it, I guess we can go into Scrapskin Drake. Work towards a turn 5 Sky Snare Spider. Seems like something that would benefit us pretty greatly. Disperse, one of our few removal spells. What do we got? Disperse, hard removal, which I guess Disperse isn't even hard removal. So basically we only have Wild Instincts as hard removal. But Clash of Wills and Remain decking Bone to Ash, which is not ideal, as you might imagine. Okay, opponent is with us. Keeps at 7. And we're good to go. So blue mana off the top here would be ideal. Green is still okay. We get our turn 3 Automaton, which does not seem bad. We shall take our 1. I'm hoping he doesn't play the 2/1 Renowned First Strike guy. Yeah, pretty much hoping he wasn't playing that. So here's the major issue. Major issue is I play Automaton. He pays his 3 mana, he gets to Renown in, and then he's got a pretty insane attacker and blocker for the rest of the game. The other problem, I could play Elite, but then I'm immediately chumping, which is also really bad. I guess I can play Elite and double block it and hope he has nothing. That, I guess, actually gives me a decent option. It doesn't make the best use of our mana, but we get an extra elf. We get to block with Elf Warrior plus Elite on Lieutenant. And if he uses removal, it's not like the end of the world. He doesn't get Renown. So that seems okay. If he's got Celestial Flare, like I said, it's really not that bad. We basically... He trades his Celestial Flare for... Could have like a Mighty Leap too or something, but could have Enshrouding Mist. There's actually quite a few things he could have, but we'll force him to have it. He did have Mighty Leap, so he doesn't even get Renown. He basically trades a Mighty Leap for our blocker. I almost want to say he would have been better off just using Mighty Leap and getting Renown. But, well, him missing his land drop could potentially be good for us. Guess I can just play Automaton now. So hopefully he doesn't draw the land here. He did just draw and slam that land. Well, that's actually pretty nice for us, I guess. Hopefully get a land here. Did not get the land, but we can... What do we eat? I guess we... That's tough, actually. Do I want to eat the Lieutenant? I kind of feel like I want to eat the Lieutenant. But then he gets to slam in with the Knight of the Pilgrim's Road. But I could probably trade with the Leaf Gilder. But then again, I'm 1 land from Sky Snare Spider. The Automaton keeps the Lieutenant in check. But using Instincts to kill Jailer seems like kind of a waste too. Like I said, the Automaton keeps the Lieutenant in check. But... it's just such a vastly superior card to Jailer. If I use Wild Instincts on Jailer, he still gets to swing with Knight. But maybe I just trade off a Leaf Gilder and keep the Lieutenant at bay. I can't eat the knight because then he can tap my automaton and get in with lieutenant, and I don't like that. So maybe eating lieutenant is the best one. I eat lieutenant. He can tap my automaton. I block knight with leaf gilder. We still have our 3/3. He uses his turn. Could still draw a blue mana. All right, I think I like it. I just think Council's Lieutenant is like his best creature by 100 miles. So getting rid of that now seems like it could be of benefit to me. We don't get to attack, but I think that's okay. If he uses his turn to tap my automaton, it's good. If he uses his turn to just attack, I trade with automaton, gain life. I think that's good. If he attacks and Celestial Flares, we get that out of the way, opening us up for a safer Sky Snare Spider. Cleric is not that alarming. Visionary is actually just fine. Found our blue mana, so now we can go leave up Disperse, but I think we actually want to do Scrapskin Drake here. Next turn we get Sky Snare Spider, which is pretty insane. Alright, life gain. Not overly concerned about that. Opponent is still missing land drops, which is also pretty good. So let's just bash in with Scrapskin Drake. And slam a Sky Snare Spider. Even if he has suppression bonds, I can disperse my own spider at the end of his turn to replay it, which actually seems fairly decent. No plays. So I think the play is swing Drake Spider, leave up Disperse. Oh god, if he's using his turn for that, it's actually kind of good for us. I can attack with Automaton Drake, play Geist, but I guess Automaton's keeping both of these in check and this. Although Leaf Gilder at this point I can just trade off. But he's probably incentivized to trade his knight for the Automaton. So let's just get in with Drake, play Tower Geist. So put the Force Mage in hand, Island in the graveyard, play an island, and pass the turn. I mean, Invocation at this point is insane. Like, I could have played Force Mage there. I could have pre-combated the Tower Geist had I known Force Mage was up there and then got in for more damage, but I can still do that next turn. And Leaf Gilder's no longer necessary, so I can even trade it for a Cleric. I have enough lands to do everything in my deck. And we've got an actual, like, fleet of attackers at the moment. He can Suppression Bonds my Sky Snare Spider, and at the end of his turn, I'll just disperse it and replay it. And he'll still have to dedicate that 3 mana to tapping it down. Yeah, like, this is actually just fine. You can keep the land. All right. I mean, we've still got quite the clock going on him, to be honest. All right. Let's start bashing in. Seems like it's about that time. I can even start swinging with Water Courser. He doesn't have a great block for that. He has to double block it to kill it, which means I 2-for-1 him. Although I guess he can just trade with Knight, now that I think about it. This isn't that alarming, actually. Like, it just means I trade an automaton for a knight, which I was going to do anyway. If he just swings with that, I'll take 6 here. We actually get a more aggressive backswing than maybe he realizes. Because now I can pretty comfortably swing with Water Courser and Automaton. Well, let's slam pre-combat Lano or Empath just to see what we get. Well, I guess we bottom both. I could leave him knowing about Clash of Wills doesn't seem that great though. Let's bottom it. Maybe we get the God. I got to admit I'm pretty lucky with bottoming 2 things and just coincidentally getting the creature. I've had pretty good success with that. I shouldn't have tapped my blue mana, but actually, yeah, he could have traded both of those anyway. So I think we actually just swing Automaton, Drake, Geist, Courser. And I've got great defense for a lot of his stuff now. And I think he has to do some kind of awkward trading here. I guess I don't get to post-combat my Screeching Scab now, but this seems pretty good for us. So already I know Caustic Caterpillar's coming in. Guess maybe I should have just swung all out. That might have actually made more sense. If I'd swung with everything, he could have done some good blocking, I guess, just with the Tactician though. So yeah, it might have been smarter to just get in with Gilder and Visionary and Force Mage. I mean, we're definitely ahead on the race at the moment. If Anointer's his best play, I'm not that concerned. Suppression Bonds number 3. Wow. That is a lot of Suppression Bonds. Major issue is he's got the Jailer now. But, ooh, well, Hydrolash not so good, actually. I guess it does, like, draw a card. So we bash with... He's only got... Yeah, actually, I guess we bash really hard here. We've got a pretty nice attack. Gilder, Drake... Force Mage, Empath. That's actually that's a great block for us. It's actually kind of jarring to me that he would do that because he can technically, if he can make like 1 and 2 drop plays, he could keep the Drake tapped down so he doesn't have to worry about evasion. But maybe he's just not concerned because he's got like Charging Griffin or something. So let's do this. Hopefully mill 2 lands. That would be ideal. Nope, mill 2 spells instead. And 2 spells I actually would have loved at the moment, which is kind of unfortunate, but that's all right. Yeah, Lieutenant number 2. Our opponent's deck actually looks pretty insane. Like infinite suppression bonds, infinite 2-drops. Do we just kill our opponent now? He has to block. I think he's just dead here. I think he's in too much trouble to get out of this one. He has to split his blocks amongst these. He takes 5 in the area. Okay, so we beat him. I mean, oddly enough, Drake's won us the game. I think they're going to be less good on the draw, but I know that Caterpillar's insane with triple suppression bonds. Orbs of Warding is actually pretty interesting. With the sheer quantity of 2-drop attackers he has, I don't mind it, but I don't know what I'm going to do about the Council's Lieutenant. I think I'm just straight up lucky I could beat that. I think we ditch Bone to Ash. Just too expensive. His deck's too cheap to really capitalize on that. Hydrolash is very good. I think Sigil Starfish is actually pretty good too. This doesn't look like a very favorable match. I think I actually want Maritime Guard since it blocks the Consul's Lieutenant much better. We probably ditch a Timberpack Wolf for it because everything else seems kind of Could ditch a Drake for it. Problem is, Drake actually seemed really good this game, but I think on the draw, like I said, it's going to be worse. And I want as many two drops as I can get. Although Timberpack Wolf can't drop his insane lieutenant. Maybe I can go like Timberpack Wolf Hydra Lash, though, and then block it and draw a card and get some value. I have some serious concerns about this match. I think opponent's deck, like I said, is probably better than ours. I'm going to ditch. I'm going to play a foil island for luck. See if that helps me. Wait, is that not a foil island? Did I just put one down and then re-grab the non-foil one? There we go. Yeah, I guess this is about as good as I can match myself against our opponent's deck. So let's try this. I don't like the 6-lander with Elvish Visionary. It's not ideal. Yeah, I think we gotta mull this. 6 lands against the hyper aggro deck. Well, 5 lands against the hyper aggro deck is pretty bad too. This one, however, is actually considering it's a mull to 5, I would say this hand is actually pretty nice. And we're just playing against mono white, which actually makes a lot of sense. Hoping to not see a Consul's Lieutenant. Yep, it's exactly what I didn't want to see. So he's going to get Renown, he's going to get a ton of value, he gets to make a post-combat play, and we are in some pretty serious trouble starting on turn 2, which is kind of an uncomfortable, unhappy feeling, but not much to be done about it, unfortunately. Yep, that's extremely problematic since he still has Anointer. We are in a world of trouble at the moment. Just a world of trouble. So we're going to swing with the Wolf because we honestly can't block with it. He could swing everything, though, and then I guess we take an extra damage. Yeah, so I guess this technically keeps Anointer's 1 extra damage at bay. Because he gets the boost from both of these. So I'm going to take 4, 7, 9. Otherwise, I just take 4, 7, 8. So I'm saving myself 1 damage. I guess we attack with the Timberback Wolf. It honestly doesn't matter at this point. Basically, all it does is I take 1 extra damage, but we're just on such a fast track to losing that I'd rather just get some damage in and hope that I can draw something that I have no idea somehow brings me back in this game. Yep, definitely didn't want to see that. So we'll just take an absurd amount of damage here. An absurd turn 4 amount of damage. Turn 4, swing for 12. Yeah, I don't like this matchup. I do not like this matchup. We're actually just dead. Just dead on board. Wow. That is crazy. And like, the funny thing is, suppression bond's totally not necessary. Totally not even necessary. Just based on this board state, me being tapped out with 2 blockers, he had won. That's so insane. And he had the suppression bombs on top of it. That was a wow. That was a harsh match. Should have actually blocked the 5 power guy, but as we all know, it didn't matter. That was harsh. I don't think I've gotten my teeth kicked in that hard in quite a while. I wish Scrapskin Drake wasn't so bad in this match, but I just don't have anything. I just don't have anything. I have a Fairy Miscreant, which is a 1-mana 1/1 flyer, which actually seems worse than Scrapskin Drake. Okay, I don't know what to say. I don't have anything. So I think we do this. Well, at least we get a keepable hand. That's a good sign. And I will open with a Caterpillar. All right, Foundry's not the worst, actually. So we're doing Caterpillar Beatdown. Our deck is so awesome. All right, so Force Mage next turn on the Caterpillar, get in for 3. And then we actually have 2 blockers for his stupid Lieutenant that just keeps coming out. He does have 2 of them, though, in his defense. All right, well, you know, actually, considering our deck's power level versus his, we are drawing not so poorly. I mean, we get to go Automaton into Ring Warden Owl. I would say if we had any chance of beating our opponent, this is like the best we got. All right, opponent unfortunately has a bomb hand too, so this is going to be difficult. This is going to be extremely difficult, but we're going to do our best. So we have to take this. At least we get to follow up with the Ring Warden now, which is good. Guess our game plan is... I don't want him to know about the Foundry yet, so let's play the Ring Warden now, then we pass. Like, Draga Invocation is an actual way to win this game now. Sure, he's doing some math, as he should. We should probably be thinking this out too. So if Lieutenant attacks, he can Anointer it, which means my best block is like Automaton Force Mage on Lieutenant. But then what's my best block on the Knight? And I don't have a great answer for that. I kind of don't want to trade off the Ring Warden now. Another maybe option is, it's not lovely, it's really not lovely, but triple block the Lieutenant. He can kill 2 of my guys. It's really like just killing the Caterpillar though, because Visionary drew me a card. And I kill Lieutenant. I think I'm just going to take Aven, but then that lets me block his Knight of the Pilgrim's Road with Automaton. So I can basically triple block Lieutenant, block Knight of the Pilgrim Road. I can also, well, I feel like Lieutenant has to die, though. It's just too good. He can suppression bonds here, which I imagine he does. He's got 3 at least in his deck. Tactician, not what I wanted to see, as you might imagine. Really not what I wanted to see. Guess I can do a little chump blocking. All right, so Avon's being taken. Knight I don't think is. Lieutenant's got to get... I don't know what's going to happen with Lieutenant. I have to, like, chump block it. I just absolutely do not feel comfortable letting this get in. It's just too out of control. 4 power first strike. What does that mean? It means I could... Maybe I'm better off letting this get renowned. Like, I can double block his Lieutenant with Force Mage and Automaton. First strike kills my Automaton. He still loses his Lieutenant. I don't lose my Force Mage. Lieutenant definitely is the priority over the Knight of the Pilgrim's Road, for sure. The problem with Knight of the Pilgrim's Road is it's going to get renowned. I could just chump block it. I really don't love that. I don't like it even. I would go as far as saying I do not even like it. But I think Lieutenant's got to die. Just the first strike with Anointer is just so good. If he has Enshrouding Mist, it's just, that's GG's. But we haven't seen it yet, so we have to hope he doesn't have it. I guess the play is just double block here. He's going to first strike kill our Automaton, like I said. I think I chump block the Knight. I don't want it to get renowned. I just lose an Elvish Visionary, which isn't the worst. It's not good, though. Oh, no, I totally screwed up because now it's going to get +1/+1. So I needed to block again. That was just a major error there. For some reason, I did not calculate the toughness getting boosted. Yeah, that was a horrific error on my part. Let's play Visionary. Alright, does not do much. Guess he doesn't need to know about Foundry yet, so we'll play this. We'll bash with Ring Warden Owl. So maybe I just rip a Draga Invocation and win. I just take everything. Draw Draga Invocation and win. Let's do that. I kind of like that, actually. I take 2, 4, 7, 10, 11. I'm going to do it, actually. I'm going to take this. No blocks. We're going to rip Draga Invocation. Suppression Bond, last card. And then we did rip Dragon Vocation? Oh my god. How do I win? Foundry, for sure. No cards left in my opponent's hand. I don't think I can Draga this turn. If I can... I can take 3, 6, block, block, but then I need a block there too. I need 3 blocks. Here's 1. There's 2. Pump everything now. He blocks 2 guys. He does not take lethal. So we have the Leaf Gilder. Okay. I think I know how to win this. I think I actually know how to win this. I'm going to have to do some pretty serious blocking here, but we have lethal because this 7, 11, 15. We have Xaxis lethal in the air with Draga Invocation. That is so absurd. I mean, it's of course dependent on what his card is. Like if he rips another Cleric, we don't have lethal. If he rips another Suppression Bombs, we don't have lethal. If he rips a ground creature, we do have lethal. If he doesn't swing with Stalwart Haven, we don't have lethal. I really want him to rip in with that Stalwart Haven. All right, he is doing what we need him to do here to win. Everything gets pumped. So we go... So this... This... 3, 6, 7. He could kill us with Mighty Leap, so I actually do have to block with everything. We declare blockers. Just have nothing. Oh my God. Wow. That was a hell of a win. We will see you in round 2.